we have Anna, who is going to be giving us a talk about monitoring the SOHO network with Python, Django, and nmap. Anna, take it away.
Hello. My name is Anna Makarudze. This is my first talk in 4 years. I last gave a talk at PyCon Africa in 2019, so I'm a bit nervous. I'll be presenting a talk on monitoring the small home or office network using Python, Django, and nmap. So, before I start, let me give a brief introduction about myself. I'm a software developer based in Harare, Zimbabwe, and I'm currently working for Django Girls as part-time fundraising coordinator and software engineer. I'm also a trustee for Django Girls Foundation. I'm a former president of the Django Software Foundation and an organizer of many events, including PyCon Zimbabwe 2016 and 2017, DjangoCon Europe 2018, and DjangoCon Africa 2023 to be held in November this year in Zanzibar, Tanzania. So you can join us there in Tanzania in a couple of weeks. So I'll be talking about how to install nmap on your local machine, then setting up your Django project, then running a daemon using Django management commands, saving the data to the database using the Django ORM, and then displaying the data in a Django web app. So my talk assumes that you already have Python 3.10 or later installed, as well as Postgres. And also, given my background with Django Girls Foundation, maybe let me give this disclaimer. I'm used to working with total beginners, so if whatever I'm going to say you think it's assumed knowledge everybody already knows, please forgive me. I assumed people don't, I assume there are people who don't know how to set up a Django project. So if you know, it's okay, you can just ignore that. All right, so rationale, why use nmap? So nmap is an open source tool that is used for monitoring networks. You can scan to see which hosts are on your network. And for my use case is I have a small Wi-Fi router at home, which is not very secure. So whenever I run out of data, I just assume somebody else has been poaching my data. This is why I did this project to begin with. And also, if I log on to the router, it just gives me a list of MAC addresses which are currently connected. So I want to be able to identify the devices which are connected on my network by, obviously, if I see the operating system that is being used, I can say, okay, no, this is my phone, this is my smart TV, and stuff like that. So that's why I'm using nmap for this. So you can use nmap for other things like port scanning or vulnerability scanning. It depends with what you want to do with it. So for this one, I'm just identifying devices that are connected to my network. So what we are going to do is the procedure. First, we install nmap, and then we create the project folder and install the requirements. Now, these are requirements for the Python and Django project. Then we set up the Django project, and then we are going to write a daemon that we are going to use to scan the network using nmap, and then save the data to the database, which you will finally display in the Django web app. So to install nmap, you need to install it system-wide, and instructions for installing nmap are available on the nmap website. I will not dwell much on this. Then to use nmap, you need to, for most commands, you need to be able to run as sudo. So the easiest way that I found to be secure for my use case was to edit etc sudo as for my Mac, and to ensure that I can be running nmap as passwordless sudo. So each time I use sudo from my project, I don't really need to enter the password for it, because I'll be running sudo from within Python. So to be asked for the password continuously, I just didn't want to do that, and it was also going to be a little bit complex on how to do it securely. So I'll be running password sudoless from nmap. So you can follow the instructions given in the slides to enable this. Then to set up the project, obviously I needed to create a directory. I called it Tempest. I'm a developer, so I had time naming things, and I remembered when I was growing up, we had a small cassette player which was developed by the brand Tempest. Because I remember so many fond memories playing music from it, I just used that name, Tempest, for the directory. It doesn't mean anything, it's just some funny name that I picked up. And then after creating your directory, you obviously need to create a virtual environment, which will do with the Python 3.10 -m virtual vnv.vnv. So I used Python 3.10 for this project, but you can use any other version of Python 3, even Python 3.11 or 12, whatever works for you. Then you also need to activate your virtual environment, and then for I prefer using pip tools as a Python package manager. So I installed that package manager pip tools, and then after installing pip tools, I created a requirements.in file using a text editor, and then entered all the requirements that were required for this project. I'm going to list them later on. And then if you run pip compile, pip tools will create a requirements.txt file for you. And then if you do pip sync, it will install all the required packages for you. So this is, alternatively, you can do pip compile after doing the requirements.in file, and then run the common command pip install -r requirements.txt. The command has the same effect as pip sync. It will just install the required packages for you. Then after this, we now have Django installed, so we can create the project by using the Django admin start project command, and Tempest. Then, so the project name will be Tempest, and the period indicates to Django that you should make the current folder the root for a project. So if you don't put that period, it will create another folder again, Tempest, and it might cause confusion for you, having to go into another root folder. So you make sure that the period is there. Then after this, you do the Python 3.manage.py start up to create an app called Network Manager. So for those who have used Django before, you know that after creating a new app, for it to be recognized by Django, you need to add it to installed apps in your settings.py. So make sure that you add the project to your installed apps for it to work. So just to verify that nmap is working locally, you can just scan maybe an IP address that you know to exist on your local area network by saying nmap 192.168.1.4. That's my private IP network. So if it works, you should get something like the screenshot above. You can also run nmap with instructions to detect the OS that, you know, the IP address you supplied with. So if you add -O option, it will tell you the operating system that is working on that device, and also provide the fingerprint for that OS, like as shown in the screenshot also. So now that you can do all that, you are ready to then start working with nmap from Python. Okay, so to scan the network host from within our project, we'll use Python's inbuilt module sub-process, which we need to import. And for my use case, I decided to save whatever results that I get to an XML file, which I already created in my project, which is blank. So it's called networkscan.xml. Then to supply the commands that you need to use with to run with the sub-process, you need to put it in a list like I did. So each argument, you enter it as a string, and then you just add it to the list. And -OX will enable you to write to the XML file. So you just run sub-process.run command. In this case, my command is called CMD, and then sub-process will run that for you. So just to break down whatever I'm doing with that command, so -V, it increases the verbosity level, and then -N, it says not to do DNS resolution. Then -P, it tells nmap to scan all ports. And then -ST, it tells nmap to do a TCP connect port scan. Then -SV, it attempts to determine the version that is being run by the service on a port. And then -O is for OS detection. And then max OS tries, you limit the number that you want nmap to try and guess the operating system. So in this case, I used 3. And then -OX, it tells to save to an XML file. Then OS scan limit, it just tells nmap to limit OS guesses to hosts that meet a certain criteria. So you can play around. If you Google, if you check the nmap website, they'll tell you all the arguments that you can use when you are working with nmap. So for me, I'm using that command using a custom command that I made, management command, Python 3 manage.py scan network, which I'll show you later. And since I needed to be able to test it now when I don't have my usual private IP address, I made sure that the command takes in an argument, which is the network that you are going to scan. So it's not hard-coded. So if you are not using 192.168.1.0/24 like my home network, you can just enter the private IP address you have, and you can use it to run the scan. So after running, so the daemon, it saves the data to an XML file, and then there are some Python functions to convert that data to first to a to the dictionary, and then from that dictionary, the data is saved to various modules. So this is my daemon that I'm using to scan my network, and then the read scan results and save to database, which takes XML file. This is the function that I use to save the information to the database. It takes on a few other functions which I did not show in these slides, but I'll provide a link to my GitHub. Then I defined a few modules. One is for saving the host, and then the other one for saving the ports, and the other ones to nmap run and run states. They are just saving the details about each nmap run that I do, and also the statistics that they find. So for the hosts, I need to know which hosts I already know on my network. So I used, I set the MAC address to be unique, and then the ports also, I used a unique constraint for the host and the port ID. so that we don't continue saving details about hosts and posts that we already have. So we only save new devices that we discover. So to convert the data to a dictionary, I used a third-party library called XML to Dict to pass the data from an XML file to a dictionary. Then after processing the data, when you do an nmap run, you have, it will scan for all the IP addresses within your IP range. So sometimes the host will be down and we don't need to save details of hosts which are down. So we're using the Python function filter. I wrote another function host list which another function app which takes a host list, and then it filters for everything that is down and removes it, and we only remain with function with hosts which are up. Then after removing hosts which are down, we can then save the models, the data to the models, and for the nmap run and run states, the Django model.objects.create with a dict, it works fine, but for host and port modules, remember we are using, we have some unique fields there, so we'll use the update or create function to save these details so that they are not repeated. Then to present the data, Django has some inbuilt class-based views, so I just used the list view and the update view. Since we are not doing much from the website on the web app, we are just displaying the data that has been generated by the daemon. So, anything I can do with this. So, in the future, probably I could expand the app to monitor bandwidth usage by device, so that I see which device is using more data and how I'm actually using my data bundle. Or I can use the app also to make recommendations based on security vulnerabilities that might have been, uncovered by an nmap run scan. Or probably build a firewall for the network so that if I identify any devices that should not be on the network, I can blacklist them and make sure that they do not access my network. Okay. I don't know what happened. Oh, sorry, I went down instead of up. Okay, if you want to check out the project, you can find it on my GitHub repo. And then if you want to read more about the articles that I used while I was presenting, preparing this talk, I added up also a list of references that you can refer to. Thank you. If you want to attend DjangoCon Africa, there is the link. You can sign up, get a ticket, or support the event, whatever works for you. And hope to see you in Tanzania in a couple of weeks. Okay, I wanted to show the web project. Let me see. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to show something in the web project. Oh, I'm still in PowerPoint. Okay. Oh. Oh, I wanted to show this. It's in the web browser. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. No. Yeah, that's it. I wanted to show the web project, but we have some technical difficulties, so.
Okay, folks, can we have a big round of applause? Anna? Well done for soldiering on with all the technical difficulties. I know that that makes it very hard, and congratulations on giving your first talk in 4 years.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have about 5 minutes until the next speaker starts, so we have an opportunity for questions. Otherwise, we'll have a very quick break, and then we'll start with the next talk after that. Any questions? I'm not seeing any questions. Oh, there's one here. Okay. Straight into the mic.
Hello. So I was wondering if this project could be applied as well to Django 4.
To Django?
4. To Django 4. Number 4, version 4.
Oh. Oh, okay. So it works with Django 4.2. I think the new release is Django 5. Yeah, but with Django 4 it works.
I was working on Django 4 for a while back. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it works with the Django 4.2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't tested with Django 5.0, which was recently released.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Any more questions? One over there. Got there.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you, is there any, can we integrate it with Flask or Fast API too, or it's just configuration for Django?
Sorry?
I mean the package. Can we use it for Fast API and Flask too, or it's just configuration for Django?
Oh, I built this with Django.
Just for Django, yeah?
Yes, I haven't tried it with Flask or anything else.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you can do a Python version, I think, without using Django.
You know, I saw the way you talked about the Django models, but I wanted to know if we can use it with Fast API or Flask too, because sometimes we just need Fast APIs. And if we configure it with Fast API, it would be a facility for us.
Okay, I'll be happy to try it out. This was just an experiment I did, so yeah, I can try it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? I don't see any, so Anna, I think you can escape now. Well done. Congratulations. Big round of
Thank you.
applause, please.
Thank you all for attending.